Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Arne Slot shares thoughts on Curtis Jones' Liverpool future after shock transfer approach. Second news is Arne Slot offers new Ibrahima Konate Liverpool contract update. Let's see where that ends. Now details. Even accounting for the madness that afflicts football in the final hours of a transfer window, the interest in Liverpool midfielder Curtis Jones, that was made public late last month, raised an eyebrow or two. Italian giants Inter made their advances known on Friday, January 30, and with Liverpool preparing for a big Premier League match the following evening at home to Newcastle United, it was an approach that was said to have been given the short shrift. The move from the Nerazzurri was never privately dismissed as inaccurate, but checks on the reports came with a firm indication that the Reds had no interest in weakening their squad, particularly so late in the window, with the deadline set for 7 p.m. the following Monday. Liverpool, in fact, were looking to add to their ranks, with the scramble for defensive cover eventually taking them to RB Leipzig over a deal to move Lutschel Geertruida. Given Inter were in touch over Jones, however, it is not a massive leap of faith to believe the reports of Denzel Dumfries, the Netherlands international right-back, also featuring in those brief talks. It would also be no surprise if Inter began to cast admiring glances towards Jones after his performance in the San Siro, when the Reds inflicted the Italian side's first home Champions League defeat for 3 years in early December. If the England international looked at home in one of Europe's true cathedrals, however, it will be countered that it is only because of the self-belief he carries when starring for his boyhood club. But while the move from Inter was thought to have been fleeting, before being met with an unequivocal rejection, the contact itself hints at some gentle encouragement behind the scenes from a player who is hurtling towards the final year of his deal on Merseyside. Arne Slot, however, has a different theory about why Inter felt empowered to pick up the phone to discuss the 25-year-old situation at Liverpool. The head coach believes it is the club's model of sustainability that emboldens interested parties to feel they have a chance of striking a deal for any player in the squad. I think it is perfectly normal that very good football players are in the interest of big clubs, like us, trying to extend with him and clubs wanting to sign him, Slot says. And if you go to the end of your contract, I think it is also normal that other big clubs think, maybe there's a deal to be done. Because, and I am saying this every time I am standing here lately, you know our model. Other clubs know our model as well, so other clubs might think, okay, there is no use calling them because they don't sell, we have a different model, so that could be the reason why there has been some links with other clubs. Slot points to the amount of football Jones has played under his guidance as proof that he is closer to regular first-team football than he has ever been for the Reds, and with 12 games remaining of the season, an injury-free run affords the City centre-born player the chance to clock up his most appearances in a Premier League campaign to date, which currently stands at 33, reached last term. 11 more will achieve that. Slot conceded recently, however, that Jones wants to start more regularly, and a spot on the bench for the goalless draw at Arsenal last month halted a run of 7 successive starts in all competitions. The 8 games played since have brought just 2 starts, with one coming against Barnsley in the FA Cup. Against Manchester City last weekend, he was overlooked, despite Dominik Szoboszlai being forced into right-back duty on the day. Being on the bench for games with Arsenal and City was no doubt tough to take for a player whose confidence has rarely needed boosting from external sources. A summer of soul-searching may yet be on the cards for Jones as he weighs up his career options, but it would be galling for natives to see a second successive year where the Scouser in the team has moved on following Trent Alexander-Arnold's defection to Real Madrid last year. Interest from Tottenham Hotspur has been reported, and it's unclear if Inter will return to the table when the transfer window opens. Slot, though, says he and the club are at least planning for the rest of Jones's contract to be seen out at Liverpool, leaving open the prospect of the academy graduate becoming the latest in a string of players heading into a campaign with their long-term futures unknown. It was hinted recently by Slot that talks are open over a new agreement, but recent history suggests those discussions may take some time before a resolution is found either way. He is a Liverpool player, and I think I have said this a few times, he is good enough to play for us, to start for us, Slot adds. He is a very good player, but the only line where we don't have issues is the midfield, and he has been playing the last 18 months more than he ever has in his time at Liverpool. So that tells you a lot about the development he has made. But he is also in competition with a lot of players that I also like, and they have done very well for this club as well. So yeah, he will be part of our plans for the upcoming weeks, months, and also for next season. Second news is Arne Slot offers new Ibrahima Konate Liverpool contract update. Let's see where that ends. Liverpool remain locked in talks with Ibrahima Konate's representatives over a new contract, with Arne Slot confirming he wants the centre-back to extend his stay at Anfield. Konate is into the final few months of a deal signed when he joined the club in 2021 from RB Leipzig. Liverpool have been in discussions with the France international's agents for well over 12 months now. Real Madrid have been linked with a move to sign the 26-year-old as a free agent at the end of the season, although reports late last year claimed the La Liga giants had reached out directly to Reds officials to confirm they would not be looking to take another high-profile player from Anfield after their move for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Konate has endured an inconsistent season, but has looked sharper recently, turning in an expert display to help Liverpool to an important 1-0 win over Sunderland on Wednesday after shining in a 4-1 victory over Newcastle United late last month, which was his first match back after missing 3 games following the passing of his father in France. After the success over Sunderland, captain Virgil van Dijk admitted he would love to see his defensive partner stay on beyond the end of the campaign. And now Reds head coach Slot said when asked about the latest on Konate's future, "We are in talks with him, so that tells you what we want. It's clear we would like him to stay, but negotiations are ongoing, so let's see where that ends. We wouldn't be in negotiations if we didn't want him to stay. It's just as good from Ibu as from Virgil to stay fit. I'm sure there is a difference in age, and that sometimes plays a part as well. Ibu has had a very good spell recently. He had a lot of good games earlier in the season, but then he was also part of the reason why we conceded a goal. His general performances were good, but then a small mistake he made immediately led to a goal, and so he was judged differently. But he has had a very good partnership with Virgil since I've been here, and just like Virgil, he has always been fit. Touch wood. These two are vital for us, not only because of the quality they have, but because of the lack of options we have behind." Meanwhile, Slot has dismissed concerns over Mohamed Salah's output in front of goal since he returned from the Africa Cup of Nations last month. The Egyptian, who has just 6 goals all season, hasn't registered in the Premier League since November 1 when Aston Villa were beaten 2-0. But the Liverpool boss says last season's 34-goal marksman is always capable of going on a run. Slot added there could be multiple reasons for that. It could be the opponent is even more aware of his threat after such a great season last season, or having so many different right-backs behind him for the whole season has influenced that dynamic. I could come up with 5 or 6 more reasons. What I do see is that, in general, the team generates just as many chances as we did last season. The team has the most ball possession in the league. I also see us being able to bring our forwards, and not only Mo, into very promising positions in many games, so it will be a combination of factors. Even last season Mo had a period where he scored 7 in 4 games, I think, and then 5 or 6 games where he didn't score. So let's see where he is at the end of the season when it comes to goals and assists.